Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own Hobbit house. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please do remember to hit that like button, it really helps me out. The amount of space required to make this build is a 7 by 19 block area as represented by the white grid and white llama on the ground. Now, you don't have to work too hard to find an area that's 100% suitable because you can dig out the side of mountain to make it look a little bit smoother, and you can dig out the side of mountain to make it wider. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your house. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. So now that we've got all of our stuff, we can get started. So ladies and gentlemen, if you did make the grid to help you build this build, you're going to want to come to the front left hand corner of it and count to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From this block, we want to extend inwards and we want to come to the mountain. So, depending upon where you're building this, this might be a little bit flat or it might be a bit smooth, but you want to take the most outward point of the mountain, which is this for me, and you want to find the third block out. So this would be the first block, the second block, and then the third. Well, on this third block, we want to place a sideways spruce wood stairs, and then an upside down one to the left of it. 2 spruce wood planks on top, a sideways stair on top of that, an upside down stair going to the right, and a sideways one on top. We then want to place a plank going right, and then an opposite facing sideways stair, an upside down stair underneath, a sideways stair to the right, 2 planks going down, 1, 2. We then want to have an upside down spruce wood stair underneath that last plank, and then extending inwards a regular stair. So we want to have something which should look like this. Now, the point of this shape is to give us an entrance. The entrance is going to be right in the middle of the frame that we have just created. We want to place a layer of birchwood planks that basically covers up the majority of the space that we have just made. The only difference being the glass block right above the door at the top. So we end up, it kind of looks like an egg, quite honestly. So now that we have our egg shape, what we are now going to do is extend back the outer parts of the egg, which is going to be the spruce wood, and we want it to connect to the mountain. Now, it might be that your hill or mountain is a little bit smaller than this. Let's say that you're connecting to a mountain where it is indeed smaller, because I'm sure that some of you guys will be. So, what do? You simply just keep extending the blocks backwards until they connect to the mountain in this case. So if you're not dealing with a smooth wall, then you just keep extending back and back and back and back. It doesn't matter how far back you've got to go, unless it's ridiculous, unless you're literally like extending all the way across the map. Then you just keep extending back and it'll all look good once it's finished. So we just want to have something which should look like this. Perfect. So now that we have managed to achieve our glorious egg shape, we want to come to the left side of our house and we want to grab these spruce slabs. We're going to make these sides. So I want you to locate this set of stairs here on the left side of the house. It's kind of the first set of stairs as you move up. You take the lower half of the stairs and you place a spruce slab extending outwards from it. You then want to extend that slab down and left and 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 then down and left once more until conceivably you can place no more slabs. It should just end in a rather smooth way like this. We want to do the same on the right side, so you find the lower half of the set of stairs and you go right and then down, right, down, right, down, right, down, right, down, right, down, right. Except this side, you want to extend this one row forwards. So we want to create depth. You may find that the entire house is actually one It's all different depths pretty much. So this left side is only one block outwards from the hill. This is 2, and then the actual entrance is 3. It makes it just look a little bit more interesting as you're looking at it. And this kind of looks like the lower half of like a penguin's body or something. That's kind of like the fat body, and then these are kind of like the arms. Am I the only one seeing this? Maybe I'm crazy. Anyway, so now that we've done that, the next thing that we have to do is we kind of have to figure out the walls and stuff for the particular parts of the house. So on the right and left, they're very much the same. The walls want to be 1 row inwards from the spruce slab. So like this, right? They want to be 1 row inwards. They want to integrate into the house as well. We're using stripped birch wood for this. The first row extending outwards from the house is wood. The next row is glass, and then the remaining rows, which it's pretty much a game of just covering up the empty space behind the roof, and then all the remaining ones are just wood. So it's basically wood, glass, wood, 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 just like this. And we want to do the same on the left side here, except on the left side, it's easier because we can just dig into the mountain or the hill or what have you. Whereas on that side, we had to destroy a little bit of roof to achieve the same effect. But that's what we want to have, and it looks really cool. Why have we used stripped birch wood instead of birchwood planks? Or why didn't we use stripped birch wood for the entrance? Contrast. It's just a nice little bit of contrast in both texture and tone. So that looks really good, ladies and gentlemen. The last remaining little bits of detail for the actual house itself, at the outside of the house, we're going to place a couple of chimneys. So I don't think I even had to destroy that block, so I'll tell you what. Boop, boop. I'm going to have a couple of chimneys, like one on the right side of the house here. I might actually just make that 1 row high. So just above where the window is, I'm going to place a stripped birch wood. Then I'm going to stick a stone brick wall on top. Boom, chimney. Now, I actually quite like the house being asymmetrical, meaning one side isn't the exact same as the other, but if you did want to, you can still achieve some asymmetricality, it's probably not a word, by having the same chimney on the left above the same window, but having it higher, if you wanted to. But I don't know whether I even like having two. It's up to you. Feel free to have 1, 2, or none at all. Okay, so what else do we have to do out here? Because all that's left really is to do the inside. I mean, that's the house itself, and we just have to decorate it a little bit now. So I want to have a light. So the light lines up like this. This is the left side of the entrance. We want to go 1 row beyond it, so to the left, and then we want to extend all the way out to the boundary. I'm going to place 3 spruce fence on top of each other. And then I'm going to need, I don't know if I need many of the materials that I've just got rid of. So birchwood stairs, birchwood slabs, chains, you can use fence instead. Lanterns, you can not really substitute those, but feel free just not to use them. A hoe, we need some seeds, oak planks, and oak stairs. So this is a little light. I'm going to place a sideways birchwood stairs on top of this. A birchwood slab to the right. Hang a chain off it, lantern off of that. So come on, there we go. And I don't know, it just fits the aesthetic. It just looks nice and cozy to me. So what else are we going to do? We have to make the entrance, basically we need to make a path to the entrance, which is just going to be oak planks. If you're fortunate enough that you have kind of like a raised area, if you built this on a raised area and you have a couple of rows going down, which is where I actually built my original. So let's say that you've kind of got this scenario in that you've kind of got like a bit of a drop from where the actual like entrance area to your Hobbit Hole is. Then you can add a couple of sets of stairs like leading down towards the ground, and you can have kind of like a bit of a cool path and such. Now, this might seem a little bit weird as I'm describing, because I'm destroying the land now, but if you can imagine that this was a built-up hill, and then we were like extending down to kind of like the ground level, which is here, then that would make sense. It just makes it look cool. Another cool thing that you can do, regardless or not of whether you have built it on a built-up area, to be quite honest with you. And by the way, I mean that really these should be like there, right? Come into the outer boundary of the house. Anyway, you can add some farms just out in front of your house. Now, these don't have to be too meticulously planned out. I'm just kind of like placing them just on the right and the left of the house like this. They're kind of like a plus shape. I'm going to hoe them out, and I'm going to place some seeds. I'm using beetroot because beetroot is best root. here, and here, like this. And I want to have the same sort of thing on the side. And again, if you are fortunate enough that you kind of have like the terrain where, I don't know whether I've built that a little bit too close. Again, it doesn't really matter. If you're fortunate enough where you've kind of got like nice uneven terrain, so you've got kind of like a nice interesting area to work with, then you can do cool things like, this is what I did on the original version of mine. Like I made it so that like I just kind of like built up the farm a little bit just so that it, and I just kind of like built it into the terrain a little bit in where that I kind of like dug it out, and it kind of like connects back to the path that leads to the front of the house. And I've got kind of like a couple of slabs there just to kind of like highlight the area. Same sort of thing here on the right as well. But, you know, unfortunately, you know, we don't have that sort of terrain. But you can destroy part of it if you want to. There's no reason why you can't, if you do want to make the terrain a little bit more interesting. Because I've been thinking about this as well. If you just want to destroy out a couple of blocks and then here and there just place some, like, planks and some stairs, just to kind of like rough it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. And then you could build some water around here. Perhaps you could add a couple of trees. This would look better if I had actually like terraformed a little bit, and if we didn't have a load of concrete anywhere. But this will all become a little bit nicer looking once we actually continue, once I actually do a little bit of terraforming and show you what the terrain could look like. But when it comes to the inside, I just want to show you how to do the inside. It's really easy. I'm sure it probably doesn't need to be said whatsoever, but to make the inside, this is essentially a cave house, right? So it can be as big or as small as you want, depending upon the size of the hill or cliff or whatever, wherever or whatever you've decided to build this on or around. But all you gotta do is dig into the walls of your cave, or into the walls of your cliff rather, to make a cave, and that's all she wrote. So you can make it as big or as small as you like. You add in a floor, you add in some walls, and there you go, you've done it. So I'm actually going to do all of that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to dig out a decent area. I'm going to make this into a nice survival themed house. I'm going to terraform the outside a little bit, and I'll show you what it can look like if you just put a little bit more effort into it than we already have. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what our Hobbit house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. As you can see, I have terraformed a little bit, adding a bit more of a path structure leading out from the house. I've added a couple of trenches around just to make it a little bit uneven. I think it just adds a little bit more interest and intrigue to the landscape. I've grown the farms. You can see that they look all nice and lush now. And as a matter of fact, you could even fill all of these areas with farm as well. It'd actually probably look really cool. I have also added some cobweb to the actual to the fireplaces, to the chimneys, that's the word that I'm looking for, to the chimneys, to make it look as though that we actually have fireplaces, even though we do not. If we head inside the house, then we have a good amount of change in here. Like immediately we are met with a giant crafting room, repairing room, a little bit of enchanting, armor, every single implement that we could possibly need, all here waiting for us, looking pretty good. And just to the left of us, I only have two rooms. I have a bedroom with a furnace and a crafting table and just a couple of chests and some decoration. And we can even see back into the room from here as well. Of course, this could be made a lot bigger, but this is supposed to be kind of like a starting house. It's not meant to be like a Hobbit mansion, so hopefully you guys like it. And that's it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.